Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a new week. I hope you're all doing well and that you had a really nice weekend. I know that there's a few new followers on this page, so I just want to explain what this segment is all about. This is a regular Monday morning segment that happens at 9 a.m. It is live streamed and it's generally about any subject matter that is relevant to health and well-being. And often the subject will come up with something that is happening in my own life or something that pops up that I think, oh, this is probably a good thing to talk about. If I'm experiencing this, then there's probably other people out there that are as well. So today we are talking about the freedom of discipline. And I know this sounds like a bit of an oxymoron. It's kind of like those two words can't be they can't coexist or they sort of feel like they're mutually exclusive. But I want to talk about how how discipline creates freedom. And the reason this has come up for me this week is that something that I really enjoy doing is going for a walk every day. That's kind of like my form of exercise that I really enjoy doing. And ideally, I'd go every single day and I'd probably go for about an hour. It's a time that I put my earbuds in, I listen to music, or I listen to a podcast or an audio book. So it's kind of like killing two birds with one stone, where I get to sort of learn something or study something, but I'm also getting exercise and fresh air. And what I've come to realize is that the busier I get from a work perspective, the more those walks start to fade away. And there was a time in the last few months where I just wasn't walking at all. And I got to the point where I realized that it was because I didn't have enough discipline around those walks. And so this is what kind of got me thinking about how discipline and freedom go together. Because when I'm disciplined and I make sure I schedule in those walks every day, and they don't happen every single day, but most days of the week, when I am disciplined and make those walks happen, I feel freer because I've been out, I've got my fresh air, I've cleared my head, and then that allows me to be more productive during the rest of my day. I know that there's going to be people out there who don't like the word discipline. Maybe it conjures up memories of being disciplined by your parents or punished. Maybe it feels like, it's too restrictive. And I know that there's people out there who like to refer to themselves as free spirits or gypsies or, and don't get me wrong, I think there are people in the world who can exist quite well with that kind of nature. But I think for most of us, we can't. Most of us thrive on routine and discipline because it makes us feel safe, and that allows us to be more productive in our own lives. So I want you to think about someone that you really admire. It might be someone who has done really well in their career. It might be someone who's hit a goal that maybe you're striving for. Maybe it's someone who just seems like they've got everything together. And I believe that in 95% of those cases, of those people that you would look up to or admire for what they've done in their life, it's because they've got discipline. It's not because they're doing what they want when they want. They've got some kind of routine or some kind of plan or some kind of, some kind of disciplined habits that they stick to regularly. Morning, those of you who have tuned in. Kerry, good morning. Nice to see you. Okay, something that I've noticed through coaching clients is that when it comes to making decisions that are going to lead them forward in their lives, this can be something that can be quite uncomfortable for people because they've got to get their head around this person that they're aiming to be, or whatever it is around their health that they are aiming to improve. So often they'll have a plan laid out, and we help them with that plan. So they'll have a plan and then they'll be really focused and determined. And then they will start to sacrifice the very thing that is going to lead them to success. What is that thing that they sacrifice? Self-discipline. So I believe that the sacrifice of self-discipline is actually a form of self-sabotage. I really do. So, it's not about, self-discipline is not about following anyone else's rules. This is about following your own rules to get you to where you want to be. Not allowing yourself, or not giving yourself discipline, or not setting yourself rules and boundaries is basically like letting a 2-year-old run your life. Because the 2-year-old will be saying things like, I don't want to do that. I just want to have fun. And they'll be looking for that sense of instant gratification. Basically, if you've got your inner 2-year-old running your life, you're going to lose control of your life. Okay, so it's already likely that you have discipline in parts of your life. For example, you show up to work on time, you show up to your appointments on time, you brush your teeth every day, twice a day, hopefully. That is self-discipline. But maybe you lack self-discipline around certain other areas. And because we are all about coaching on health and well-being, this is what I'm talking about today. So when you lack discipline, you end up lacking freedom with your health. And I'm going to give you some examples. Is the fact that your favorite jeans don't fit you, is that giving you freedom? Are your aches and pains that you are experiencing in your body giving you freedom? Are your regular migraines or headaches giving you freedom? Are your low energy levels giving you freedom? So think about that. Think about where there may be areas of your health where you lack discipline and link them to how that is reducing your sense of freedom around your health. So if any of your answers to those questions were no, that's not giving me freedom, then it shows that your lack of discipline is not working well for you. So what do you do when something's not working? Do you keep doing the same thing over and over again? No, you don't. You do something differently. So how does discipline lead to freedom? Well, firstly, it allows you to align your short-term actions with your long-term goals. I spoke about this 2 weeks ago. If you want to go back and listen to that video about aligning short-term actions with long-term goals, that is a really important part of self-discipline. It gives you a plan to follow, and it asks that you show up for yourself. It demands that you show up maybe in a way that you don't really want to, but you know that you need to get to where you want to be. And it gives you back control of your own life. So I always like to draw on my own sort of experience in this area, and I think, and this is something I talk about with my clients quite often, is how the way that I eat now, like following a plant-based diet, has actually given me the most freedom I have ever experienced in my whole life, to the point where I don't even really need to think about food or eating or anything like that anymore. So I know a lot of people, the thing that puts them off is following like a really, and I'm not even going to call it strict because it's not strict, maybe a little bit more of a restrictive diet, is they think it's going to be boring or dull, or that they're not going to be able to eat all those things that they want to eat. So yes, there are things that I don't eat anymore, and I never say never to anything. And that's why I'm very open about the fact that I'm 95% plant-based and 5% I have wriggle room, so I can do whatever I like. Like, for example, in the weekend, we went out to the beach, my kids had an ice cream, I had a bite. Now, a vegan wouldn't do that, but I'm plant-based and I allow myself that wriggle room, which makes my life easy. Okay, so yeah, I don't buy ice creams, I don't eat meat pies, I don't pig out anymore. And people might think, oh, but that's really restrictive and boring. But I tell you what, it's given me freedom. And I'll tell you how it's given me freedom. I have tons of energy. I've got so much energy every single day. Well, I mean, that might be an exaggeration. Most days I have tons of energy, depending on what kind of sleep I've had. I do tend to sleep very, very well, and that's another form of freedom. Anyone out there who is not sleeping properly, your freedom is being taken away from you. And that's always one of the first things that we coach people on, is how to have deep, restful sleep, because we know what it's like. It's like hell. If you are not sleeping and you are having to perform during your day, that is a form of hell. So, okay, my freedom comes with my energy levels. I have the freedom of excellent mental focus and clarity because I'm eating in a way that supports my body and fuels my brain. I don't have any brain fog. I don't have any anxiety. I don't have any depression. I don't have any emotional peaks and troughs. My moods are very stable and I'm happy most of the time. I feel very content most of the time, apart from those life stresses that do pop up from time to time, and we all get those at some stage. I have the freedom of not having any pain in my body. I have no pain, which means every single morning I jump out of bed and I can do whatever I need to do and want to do. I'm not battling with joint pain or neck stiffness or a sore back or anything like that. That's freedom. I have the freedom of fitting all my clothes without even having to think about it. I don't jump on scales. I don't use scales. I go buy a pair of my jeans that don't have any stretch in them. They tell me everything. And when those jeans get a little bit tight, I realize, okay, I've gone a little bit far and I need to pull back a little bit, maybe on that wriggle room, which is usually what creates the tight jeans. So all those things, and I keep coming back to this time and time again about the beauty of eating whole, good, nutrient-dense, fresh foods, is it gives you so much freedom. And people think it's the opposite. It's not. It's the freedom of being able to live your life the way you want to live, because you're eating good food, you're feeling good, you're mentally clear, you're happy, your body is nimble, and you're able to do all those things that you want to do. That is pure freedom, and that has come from having discipline. Now, we all know that if we eat and drink and, eat or drink whatever we want to in our lives, it might seem like freedom, but we know what happens. We become fat, we become unhappy because we're uncomfortable, we get aches and pains, we feel a lack of self-esteem and self-confidence because we don't feel good about ourselves. Is that freedom? No, it's not. So discipline and freedom go hand in hand. If you want to experience freedom in your life, there is definitely an element of self-discipline that you must have. And if you don't have it, you are not going to experience that freedom. So my question to you is, where do you feel that you lack discipline when it comes to your health? And can you link that to an area where you lack freedom in your life? And if you can, if there is something that is creating a lack of freedom in your life, what are you going to do about it? And I hope your answer to that question is, I'm going to bring more self-discipline into my life. I'm going to leave it there for this morning. I hope that was valuable. If you've got any questions, fire them through. Happy to have a chat about that. If anyone's got any questions around the plant-based diet or what it involves, as always, I'm here. It's my favorite subject. I'll talk about it all day long. So thank you everyone for tuning in this morning. I really appreciate it. Go off and have a great day. Think about where you might need to bring those little bits of self-discipline into your life, and don't be afraid that it's going to restrict you. It's going to give you freedom. And ultimately, that's what we all want, to go and live the lives that we want to live. Have a great day, everyone. We'll catch you same place, same time next week. Bye.